Well, I don't remember a thing. I was mostly asleep, and I was only 10 months old.
Right.
So, regardless, Alden at some point wanted to retire from his work and realized that he didn't have any identification or birth certificate or anything, so he couldn't get a Social Security card.
Wow.
To get Social Security.
Oh, because he lost the keys.
Exactly. So what happened was he had to get affidavits from people, and I think his father was still alive. So here comes the story up again, regurgitated, about the fact that he couldn't really have any proof because every paper and everything they had went down with the Titanic.
Oh, interesting.
So I think he got affidavits from both parents, and we have copies of those. And yes, indeed, this is our son. So I thought that was kind of an interesting quirk to the story.
And you, part of the exhibit is a rare photograph that you found that became the photograph that's on the cover of A Rare Titanic Family, which has been corroborated to actually be them on the Titanic. And very interesting photo and iconic historic piece.
It is, and actually it was Julie Williams who found this in a family album, and it shows them standing on the deck of a ship holding their baby, and she was sure it was the Titanic and sent it to different people who were expert who could definitely determine it was taken on the Titanic. So she published that picture for the first time and got a lot of attention from Titanic fanatics, I call them, who just thought, oh, wow, a picture nobody's ever seen before. So, but that's another good story, how that turned up.
And you mentioned Titanic fanatics before we started the interview. You wanted to make sure that it was the starboard side of the ship because
I still hope I'm right.
If you get these people know every rivet and everything about the Titanic.
Yes.
I mean, these people are a little bit of zealots.
Well, yes, and I saw quite a bit of that. Just talking to people who started to get into what their main focus was, it just amazed me. And the rivet story, which became part of the actual theory of what helped the Titanic sink, I thought was really interesting. I thought to myself, well, aren't the people more important than rivets? But the rivets could have helped cause the whole thing.
And but you speak quite a bit with a smile on your face regarding this whole Titanic thing, and I know CBS has been here in the last week or two, and so this story just this doesn't, and they've been there for other things too, but you've got the World War I thing going on, and you've got this going on, but as we walk through the exhibit, it's a small but very interesting exhibit, and people can come and see it anytime they like, right? Yes,
and just to clarify, CBS didn't interview me about the Titanic, but they were here for the World War I story.
Yeah, so. And we did I did a podcast about the World War I, so if people want to check back on that, they can do that, and look out for that CBS story about the World War I thing as well. But this is a real interesting and unique connection to Park University.
Mm-hmm. It makes me smile so much because I ended up learning so much about it, and all the attention we got and publicity, it carried on for a few years after that. I would always get some phone calls in April, the month the ship sank. And it was just a lot of fun doing the research and getting to meet these people, especially the author of the book. We worked together by email, and then with the grandson, Charles Caldwell, for almost a year and a half before she sat down and made it all make sense.
Well, it certainly is interesting. My wife's a big Titanic buff. I'm sure we'll be returning here to take a gander at it, and it's been a pleasure talking to you about it.
Well, thank you for being here. We're glad to. I'm always glad to get aspects of our history out. Park has hundreds of little strange stories hidden around here.
They certainly do. Oh, thanks for letting me come to the nest.
Thanks for coming.
This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like
Easton Roofing, the presenting sponsor of Kansas City Profiles at the Danny Kling Scale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Kling Scale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new.